Hi everyone, Rick Tannenbaum here, Green Party candidate for Ward 2, Clarkstown, giving you my take on code enforcement. Supervisor George Homan likes to tout his record on code enforcement. He likes to make headlines on this subject and, to his credit, his administration has cracked down in many instances, some 950 of them. But there are glaring exceptions, which the residents on Mountain View Avenue and Christian Herald are all too familiar with. Let's talk first about the Islamic Center of Rockland on Mountain View Avenue. They built an illegal parking lot under the guise of constructing a soccer field, denuded a large swath of land, filled it with concrete debris, and turned it into a parking lot. They did all of this on R160 conservation land, while the town stood by and watched it happen. When residents complained, the town eventually brought the mosque to court and presumably collected some minor fines, but the mosque never remediated the site despite a written order from the town to clear out the concrete and reseed the fields. If anything, the town was sitting on its hands and has effectively given the ICR the green light to use the illegal parking lot year-round, which it continues to do so. In another instance, Camp Ramah on Christian Herald Road illegally boarded Rockland Country Day School students while the town looked the other way. Town inspectors knew the students were there illegally, and this went on for 6 years. Too often, we hear about developers or landowners dumping first, violating first, building first, and asking for permission later, after the fact. And sure, the town collects some minor fines and the owners are happy to pay them, as they have come to treat the fine as a cost of doing business. If, and this is the real point, the cost of doing business was to reverse the damage and force the property owners to remediate harm done to the land or the environment, it would send a different kind of message. It would deter the act first, repent later syndrome that leaves our town compromised. If a landowner had to pay to remediate the harm done and knew in advance that a fine wasn't going to be the cure, we wouldn't have 950 violations to bring in the first place. After all, it costs a lot more to repair the environment than to destroy it. As your councilman for Ward 2, that's the kind of enforcement I would advocate for. We don't want your fines. We're not in the wink, wink, nod, nod business. We want adherence to our codes. We want compliance. Loud and unambiguously clear will be our message. Don't touch the site until you have your permits, your variances, and your approvals in place. That's the new rule. And don't forget, follow me on Facebook at Rick Tannenbaum for Clarkstown and Preserving Mountain View Avenue.